Skillet
You know
Sports
what it is. You know who it is. It's the Sizzle. We're live. Oh yeah, baby. We're doing it live for you. So, listen, thank you for joining in. We want to give you the best of the pregame. We're talking about the Chicago Bears and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come to Chicago at Soldier Field to play your Chicago Bears tonight. Here's our live pre-show on the Sizzle.
Gee, Sizzle, so good, man, to be back with you, man. We're talking Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers live pre-show right here on your radio channel, TV channel, phone channel. Do phones have channels?
Yeah, well, I think they have channels. I mean, well, you can find a phone. Right? It's some kind of channel. It's somewhere on there. But look, we've got to talk about it real quick because we're getting ready to start up a Bears Thursday night game. Now, they don't have many of those. So, look, when you got a Bears Thursday night game going, I think you need to start it up and get it going. So, listen, man, got a Bears Thursday night game. What are you looking forward to? First three things. Just off the bat, what are the first three things you're looking forward to?
Well, the last time that a certain quarterback, Nick Foles, met Tom Brady, it was in the Super Bowl, and Foles won. I'm looking for him to play like that. That's first thing, number one, I'm looking for. Number two, I'm looking for is a Matt Nagy dumbed-down offense. Let's try to run the football, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been one of the best football teams against the run. Number two, I want to see the last final thing I want to see is a controlled offensive ball game. I want to see the short passes. I don't want to see Nick Foles throwing the ball 42 times. I don't want to see that happening. We got to run the football. Our tackles got to block. Leno's got to have a really good ball game tonight, or it's going to be a long day because the only way we have a chance of beating Tom Brady is by keeping him on the sidelines.
Yeah, well, Tom Brady just got a boost of some energy. He got three players back. There was question if he would only be down to two running backs in the backfield, but Leonard Fournette has been activated for the game, Scotty Miller, and he got Mike Evans back. They're all off injury reserve.
Yeah.
Just came out a few minutes ago, so they'll be up and ready. And if you have them in your fantasy, you might want to play around, put one of them as, I don't know who you have, because you're going to have Jones there as running back 2. You might want to put him in running back 2, 3, 3, 4. It depends on how your team is set up. But right now, Tom Brady is going to have a full complement offensively. And aside from Goodwin, he should be able to move the ball around. Now let's talk about what happened the last time Tampa Bay and the Bears met up. I think that was probably one of Mitchell Trubisky's best games, but they weren't playing Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So, Jay, how did they go about attacking this one differently? They have a better quarterback, we think, but are we going to get better results?
Well, the one result that we should have today is that Tom Brady has been throwing pick sixes lately. And for whatever reasons, they're not synced up on those out routes. You got Jalen Johnson and Fuller, who are two of the best cornerbacks. We know Fuller is one of the best cornerbacks at jumping those inside routes and jumping those out routes. So hopefully today, Tom Brady is late again, or one of those wide receivers like Evans might have a harder time coming out that break because they're still injured. They don't get back to the point where that mesh point, and we can see another pick six going the other way. They're still not fully on sync right there in that offense. That's why I think the most important thing right now with the Bears is to be able to attack Brady. They need to blitz Brady. I hate to say it. Brady used to eat people up in the blitz. But if you sit back there, especially with that rookie sitting out there on the corner, right now, even though he's been playing well, I think Tom Brady's going to go find him. And we got to figure out a way to stop this young kid, Miller, that Brady loves to throw to right now, because if he gets going out there in the flat, he's going to eat the Bears up.
Yeah, that underneath receiving core that they may have. Scotty Miller has become the new Wes Welker. He's become the new Rex Burkhead. He's become that new target that Brady loves to have. And we haven't even talked about the tight end situation. We know O.J. Howard is out.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen with Gronkowski? Is he going to come in and put in some work against the Bears this game?
At some point in time, Gronk is going to be Gronk. I mean, we don't know if Gronk's going to get hurt at some point in time. I'm waiting for that. But at some point in time, he and Brady are going to sync up. Right now, with Howard being out, I think Gronk is going to be the focal point. Brady's going to try to find a way to get him matched up on a linebacker down the seam. Either there's Danny Trevathan, one of those other linebackers who are not great cover backers here for the Bears. I think you're going to see Gronkowski get targeted a lot. I'm seeing he might get 7 targets a day, 8 targets a day, because I think the Bears are going to try to take the outside receivers away, and that's going to leave the under game open. I think you'll see Gronkowski going one-on-one against these linebackers, and I think it's going to be a dink and dunk type of football game all day because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers know they don't need to score a lot of points to beat the Chicago Bears, and I think Tom Brady is going to play well enough to score 20 points, and that's all you're going to need to beat the Bears.
All right, so let's talk about the offense since we're talking about the Bears. Let's talk about what's going to go on. How is Nick Foles going to come in this week on a short week and be able to move this Bears offense around against a pretty good Tampa Bay defense, which he wasn't able to do last week against a very good Colts defense?
Well, the thing is, you just can't be predictable. You know, the Bucs, as I said before, are the number 2 run-stopping defense in the NFL. You're still going to have to try to run against the Bucs. You need to put they're expecting you to go play action, and they're going to work up top. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a nickel defense coming out of the Bucs because they know their front 3 can tie up the Bears' front 5. They're just that good up front. If you don't double those guys in the middle, you got a problem. So I believe also now they're going to leave Foles and take a chance and start throwing ball into double coverage. He doesn't have the greatest arm on the planet. His arm is nowhere near Mitchell Trubisky's arm. And so now you're going to look at a guy trying to force stuff down the middle, trying to force stuff into double coverage. And I think that's what Tampa Bay wants to do. So to counteract that, we got to run the football. You got to bring in those tight ends. You got to bring in Commit. You got to bring in Graham. And you're going to have to run the football against this Tampa Bay defense because I guarantee you they have not planned against the run. They planned against the Bears to throw the ball because they're going to try to get Nick Foles to throw the ball 50 times. I believe that's what's going to happen. If we don't run the football, Nick Foles is going to throw the ball 50 times.
Yeah, that I can't get a real good handle on who's going to be doing what, but I think it's going to be when you talk about Nick Foles being able to move the ball, you've got to be able to use and utilize that play action, and that's got to be able to be a staple of what they do. Does the head coach dumb down this? Does Matt Nagy say, look, let's go to basics. Let's do some I formation. Let's do some wing. Let's do some things to keep Tom Brady off the field. What does he utilize at this point to make sure that Tom Brady's not out there carving up the Bears defense?
Well, it's not about him. It's Akeem Hicks. Those guys got to come and play. You got to get pressure up the middle to force Tom Brady to have to escape outside. If he escapes outside, you can stop Tom Brady. He's not going to get away from you. Tom Brady kills you when he slides up inside and you don't get penetration up in that A gap. Now, here's the issue. We're going to double Khalil Mack. I know that's what's going to happen. I'm not going to let Mack get off. Robert Quinn is going to have to come off that backside and make something happen. If he doesn't make something happen, now you're going to see Chuck Pagano have to start firing these linebackers or start having to come down and send the corner. If we start sending corner blitzes against Tom Brady, he's going to eat that for dinner. That's what he does. You can't blitz Tom Brady like that. So the whole issue is right now, can Akeem Hicks, because I think he's the key to everything, can Akeem Hicks get some pressure up the middle? Because if he can, now you can force Tom Brady to his left or his right, hopefully into the waiting arms of Robert Quinn or Khalil Mack.
Yeah, I'm just wondering right now, how is Matt Nagy going to pull this whole thing together really on a short week, no practice, just walking through? And what we saw the last offering we saw of the Bears was not good. It was not encouraging. It was not something that we said, oh, yeah, they're on their way. Because, by the way, you've got a undefeated Aaron Rodgers in your division. You still got a strong Lions team in your division. And right now, I'm not sure exactly what the Bears are. I don't know if the Bears know what they are right now. And I think it goes back to one of your points, Jay. They are more of a 1-3 team than a 3-1 team.
Oh, yeah, they got their Halloween mask on. There's no doubt. This is not, you got 2 3-1 teams going against each other. We know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a 3-1 football team. The Bears are not a 3-1 football team. And I'm going to tell you what, right now, you have a guy over here, Vita Vea, that plays for the Bucs, all right? he looks like a abominable snowman out there. I mean, he is just ridiculously huge, ridiculously powerful, and the Bears have not broke the 2 yards per rush barrier yet in the league. I mean, it's amazing. They're getting less than 2 yards per rush right now. So the Bears got to find a way to run this football. If they don't find a way to run this football, I'm looking at this right now. The Bears could get shellacked. When I say shellacked, I mean shellacked with extra shellacking. You know what I'm saying? You know, they got
a lot of lacking on it.
But a lot of shinola. Because if you don't keep Tom Brady on the sidelines, if you don't eat up this clock against these Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you're going to have a huge problem. What I'm looking at today, we got to at least have close to a 100-yard rusher today. We got to see Montgomery go for 89, 90 yards today, a couple of catches out the backfield. They're going to have to figure out a way to get the ball into Cordero Patterson's hands without him carrying it from the backfield, because he's not that guy. He's just not that guy to run the ball for. If we see him back there carrying the ball 8 or 9 or 10 times for the Bears today, this is going to be epically a blowout. Glad there ain't going to be no stands out there in Soldier Field. No fans in Soldier Field.
There might not be any stands out there either.
Yeah, they might just take them. Yeah, they just might
take everything.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. So
that defense that the Bucs have is really good. I wanted Vita when he came out of Washington, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
D tackle, really strong nose, can push up the middle. He can take up both that A and that B gap. He can play in that middle. He can play in that A.2. He plays in that gap.
Yeah.
And you got to control him. The center has to get him under control. Center guard exchange has to be strong, because if not, as you said, they're just going to bull rush, come right in that backfield, and David Montgomery again will have nowhere to go.
Let's
now talk about him.
But right now, I just want to let me make a point on what you're going to say. This is football 1-on-1, simple as it could possibly be. Our fat guys got to beat up your fat guys. That's what's got to happen. That's literally what's got to happen right now. You know, the big fellas who get the 2-foot-long sandwiches at Subway and 3 cookies, and then they want to get the baked Lays. You know how that go. That's a fat guy's order out there now. You got the 2 for $10.
Yeah,
you got the 2 for $10 and the free sandwich. So that means you can get
the drink
on top of it. You know, today you got a sandwich for later. You can eat your fat guys. You can eat your 2 footlongs. Because don't think the fat guys don't do that out there. I don't eat 2 footlongs anymore, but I wasn't originally a fat guy. And you know, you get older, you can't eat like a fat guy no more. You got to put some kale in. You got to put some kale in your.
You have to have something that moves it through. You got to come in, but it's got to go out.
Yeah, because Metamucil don't always work. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, you don't. You don't want to do that. So it essentially is down to that. What is our offensive line going to do on a short week? This is the scary part of it. On a short week, what are they going to do? You know what I'm saying? So it all boils down to there, man. Our offensive line, Matt Nagy's got to look. I would love to see put one of these tight ends in the backfield, put him in as a fullback, and let's run the football. Let's eat this clock up. Let's play 3 yards at a cloud of dust, because that's what we're going to need to do to win this ball game. Because if Tom Brady is on the field, that means Tampa Bay is scoring points, and we can't keep up with a team like this.
Is Tampa Bay this good? Are they really this good, Jay? Or is this just early season? Everybody hasn't gotten used to what they're seeing with Tom Brady and how this team is folding out.
All right.
Because their best receiver's not even on the field.
All right.
I don't know. Mike Evans might be their best.
I almost fell out my chair when you said that. All right.
Okay. Are you in your chair now?
I mean, I had to strap myself in. What you saw earlier, Tom Brady has just got done with his preseason. Basically. That's what's just happened. You saw him rally from behind to bring this Tampa Bay team to win this last football game, and they weren't playing well. This offense is just going to get better and better and better, and this defense is really good. Tampa Bay's run defense is fantastic. So now you got a guy who's going to his defense is going to get a lot of 3-and-outs, and Tom Brady now is going to get 2 or 3 more possessions of football game. You're going to give Tom Brady the ball 2 or 3 more times and don't think he's not going to figure this out? That's why I think Tom Brady's going to average an extra touchdown with Tampa Bay, because right now he's just figuring out these guys. once we get halfway through the season and Tom Brady knows exactly where everybody's going and he's got everybody clicking just exactly right, this is going to be a formidable offense. And as we saw last week, you saw what happened with the New England Patriots when Bill Belichick was going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. We saw that game up until 3 quarters. That game was relatively even. You saw Pat Mahomes being pedestrian-like because you had a coach who could actually coach and figure out how to shut down a high-powered offense. Now, there were just better athletes out there that won that game for him. Now you got a Tom Brady and his head coach, two of the great minds in the NFL right now coming together, and he has better weapons than he's ever had in his entire career. I'm telling you right now, with a defense like this, hey, New England never had a defense like this. They had good defenses. They schemed up good defenses, but just not a man-crushing defense like this team has. You know what I'm saying? So this is a good ball club. They haven't even got good yet.
Did you forget Ndamukong Suh is on the Bucs defense?
No, I actually knew. That's why I'm saying this defense is ridiculous, and he's played more downs, I want to say, than any defensive lineman in the NFL right now. So he's fully engaged and ready to go. Can you imagine a motivated Ndamukong Suh? A motivated guy? You don't think Tom Brady's not sitting over there hitting him with the Tom Brady talk? You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you.
Sir, remember what you used to do to Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
Just do it again tonight.
Yeah.
Just do it.
You know what I'm saying? So and there is the other caveat to this. You have an actual leader in their locker room right now. There is no excuse. There is no doubt about who is the leader of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that's Tom Brady. They know Tom Brady's first in and last out. He's going to get ready to play. He demands more from himself than anybody else on that ball club. They're going to play for Tom Brady because this team has a chance. This team has a chance. Now, we see what's happening with Aaron Rodgers up there. Whoever ticked Aaron Rodgers up there, I wish they wouldn't have ticked him off like that because he is playing out of his mind. You know, he is absolutely playing out of his mind. But it's just absolutely amazing about what's going on.
You know what? I thought about it. I thought about it a long time. And I think, now I could be wrong, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are actually a professional hit team. I mean, dude, it's like a bad mafioso movie. They come in with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He's the godfather. And then you have all these hired guns. You've got a running back. Nobody even really, last year he was okay. He was nice. He was all right. He was okay. Yeah. But he wasn't the man. Now he is the man. And you got Fournette. And you got some other guys. And you got this other dude. Then you got this Scotty Miller cat. He just comes out of nowhere. He's like the little kid with the newsboy hat on. He was nice. And he was like the little pretty young boy. And he came in. And then everybody's like, oh, he's a nice little kid. And then he massacres the whole ice cream shop. He does it all by himself with a Tommy gun. He does it. That's Scotty Miller.
And here's the thing about it. You got J.C. Pierre-Paul out there.
Everybody forgot about fingers.
This guy. I mean, they got a defense over there. And you got Todd Bowles, who's going to blitz you to death. I'm telling you right now, if Foles sits back here and pats this football, if he don't get this ball out of his hands, it is going to be a long, long day for the beloved down there on the lakefront tonight. I'm telling you, I'm telling you right now, this is going to end really badly if the Bears do not get the ball out of Nick Foles' hands in a hurry.
This is as bad as, and big shout out to one of the MCs, the great MCs of the early 2000s. Ja Rule was in the region.
That's Ja Rule.
Yeah, we had to find out what Ja Rule thought about this. Ja Rule performed. I want to say it was Sunday. I think he performed. And if
you talking about recently,
like it
Ja
was
Rule is still out there.
Dude, it was Ja Rule, Irv Gotti. They were at a club downtown.
Irv Gotti at a club.
Irv Gotti. And it was right downtown on Broadway. It was right in the region. It was right in Gary. I'm telling you now, if Tom Brady, if they keep on and your man Nick holds that ball, it's going to be murder because they're going to get murked, son. Yeah. I don't see how David Montgomery is going to rush for any more than like 40 yards. I don't know. Graham is probably going to go. He's going to probably be your high receiver. I know Allen Robinson is going to get out there and throw himself around the whole field. Yeah, it's going to be bad, bro. It's gonna be better.
Look, you got a Tampa Bay squad, right? That only allows 64 yards of rushing a game. 64. They only allow, I think, like a 300, a little bit over 300 total yards. Total yards in a total yards. What I'm saying to you right now, we need 89, 90 yards out of this rushing. We need this. But I'm here to tell you, I don't look. Everybody, please don't.
You're here to tell us there's something else.
Yeah, look,
the afterlife.
Everybody, please don't send your hate to me. Okay, I know you have your Bears jerseys on right now, your Bears face mask. You got your orange and blue on, but there could be a bonfire going on around everybody's backyard, and there could be some jersey burning going on. Because if you think Nick Foles is better than Mitchell Trubisky, he's not the answer. All right.
You know what? Ja Rule actually could be performing in the stands because nobody else is out there. He could have his own show, like a halftime.
Well, how many people were at the Gary? I mean,
dude, it was packed. It was packed.
Where were they at down there?
Man, it was just Ja Rule. Like I didn't know Ja Rule.
Were they at the Genesis Center? Because that's only about the place they could go.
No, he was at the loft. He was at the attic loft, man. Yeah, he was doing it big. And I was like, wow, nobody's social distancing. Nobody.
Hey, it's a bunch of black Republicans. What can we do?
Oh, I can't with you right now. I will not do it with you right now. I will not take your foolishness because I got to watch this Bears game. And that's going to be enough tomfoolery enough. I don't know if I have all the wine and spirits I need because I have this feeling. This has that feeling of one of those old Cade McNown games. One of those old Rex Grossman games. Oh. Like, you thought it was going to be good. And you were like, no, this is going to be horrific.
Hey, Sexy Rexy took him to the big game, didn't he?
No, Sexy Rexy did not take them to the big game.
Who took him to the big game?
It was a quarterback who went to Denver. And, yeah, it wasn't Sexy Rexy.
It wasn't Sexy Rexy?
It was no. It was the one we traded for your boy Kid Cudi that never took anybody to a Super Bowl.
Oh well, y'all ruined Jay Cutler. Don't hate on Jay Cutler because he was beautiful.
You know what? We didn't ruin Jay Cutler. You know what ruined Jay Cutler?
What was that?
Devin Hester is his number one receiver.
Did you see them? Did you hear them comments that Devin Hester whipped out?
Man, let me tell you something. If you haven't watched or listened to Iron Skillet Radio or Iron Skillet Television, we talk about this a little bit. Last week we talked about Devin Hester being under some kind of narcotic, and because he was under the impression he was a number one receiver.
Yeah. I think he had 700 yards that year. That was I had a good laugh. I had a good laugh off the air with that one. That was funny.
It was so bad that a man had to pass to another man 22 consecutive times just to show you that these other people suck.
Wow. That's just bad. Yeah, right. But you know what? Hey, that was Jay Cutler under protest. Now, here's where the Bears might have some chances right now. If you look at the key injuries on the Buccaneers, you got Chris Godwin who's out.
Right. He's gone.
You got O.J. Howard's gone.
He gone.
You got LaShawn McCoy not playing.
He gone.
Scotty Miller might not play.
Scotty Miller is on the healthy list.
Is he going to play? And Mike Evans is going to give it a go, right?
You know Mike Evans is bad. I'm going to tell you now. Now, Bears fans, no, that sounds terrible. Yeah, but whatever. Mike Evans, you keep going out there trying that hamstring, trying that knee, trying that calf, and you're going to end up sitting watching it with us.
Yeah,
Sizzle.
Yeah, he needs to shut it down for a couple of games here. And I mean, the Bucs are a good enough ball club that they're not going to. You got Tom Brady back there. Tom Brady made it work for 5 straight years with nobody but Julian Edelman up in New England. I mean, nobody.
Hey, do you really think Tom Brady had thought about coming to the Bears?
You know what? Okay. I'm going to say no. You know the reason why I want to say no? Because the Bears don't have a decent offensive line. Had they had a decent offensive line, I'm going to tell you how the Bears haven't had a decent offensive line in a long time. Now, any of these guys playing up there, it's been a while. It's been a while since they had a really good offensive line.
They haven't had a good line since that Olin Kreutz, that line that went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That might have been their last good offensive line.
Yeah. So you're looking at a team, even when Long was playing, they messed Long up. They moved him out to right tackle. And they should have left him at guard. They should have left him alone. And he heroed too much. Too tough for his own good. He should have shut it down for a whole year, got that thing right, and then came back and played. He was a shell of himself for the last 2 or 3 seasons after that injury. But they haven't had a good offensive line. And I don't know why the Bears will not invest into an offensive line as all the other good ball clubs do, i.e. the Saints, i.e. The New England figures out to have a good offensive line. They saw what a great offensive line will do to you against the Colts and a really good defensive line. Now, we have really good defenses here. Do have good defenses here, but the offense got to move the football. And again, here we are now with a very pedestrian offense who don't look like they're going to be. I would be very surprised. Very, very, very surprised. We saw last week, how long did it take them to score a touchdown last week?
Forever.
And I'm going to tell you, even
fourth quarter.
Even though that game was close, within 10 points, you never thought the Bears had a chance to win that football game. Not one time.
Right,
never had a chance. So I'm saying today, you very well, if you get a field goal, the Bears could get shut out. They could get shut out this ball game because this offense is just that bad, and they're going up against a really good, motivated defense. A good motivated defense. I don't know. I just don't. Matt Nagy needs to dumb this thing down and get this ball on the ground and run the football. I mean, you look at the money line for the Bears. What the Buccaneers are minus 110, something like that. And but here's the funny thing about it: the Bucs are only giving 3. The Bucs are only giving 3, right?
The Bucs are only giving 3.
So they're trying to force that money to the other side, to the Bears. They're trying to force all that money to the other side of the Bears. You know. So I don't think it's going to be a field goal. I don't think this football game is going to be a field goal difference. I don't think that's what's going to happen. But if you're giving the Bucs 3, if they're spotting the Bears 3, and it's a Bears home game, that means they're looking at the Bucs to win by a solid touchdown or more, easy. So
everyone has to do their job.
Well, let's hope so, Tom Thibodeau.
Do your job.
Yeah, at this point, that's all we can say, man, is everybody's got to do their job. You got to get in, get it done. You got to get in and put some work. Listen, man, we got to get ready to get out of here.
I know it's going to be kickoff in a minute.
Yeah, we got a game to watch. And so you know what we do around this time. You know what we've got to do.
You're listening to The Sizzle, the talk of the 219, the hottest sports talk in the region, on Iron Skillet Radio and Iron Skillet Television.
So since you know that we have to leave you with something hot. So, Jay, leave the people with something hot from this hot take.
I'm going to tell you what. There's no crying at halftime, okay? If you're a Bears fan, you got to sit through the whole ball game. There is no CSI, SSI. There's none of that. Did you hear about that stuff going on up in Michigan?
Yes.
When they were trying to kidnap the governor? Y'all stop doing that stuff. They're going to jail forever.
You know? I mean, there are people you can kidnap. Why the governor?
The governor? Come on. You can't do that.
Hey, did we even talk about somebody trying to kidnap Joe Montana's granddaughter?
That's craziness. What are they doing?
Ooh, I don't
come on, guys. Hey, don't do that stuff, but you have to watch the Bears game all the way through. I don't want to hear nobody give it up on it in the middle of the third quarter. Because if they don't run the football, it's going to get ugly. Just going to tell you. And that's my happy take.
Okay. So do you want to leave the people with your score? You want to come up with a score for this Bears game? What's your final?
Do I have to? 35-10 Tampa Bay.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. My final score is 37-3.
What? You're calling for a shellacking?
Until I'm proved otherwise, I'm calling this. If you couldn't get some scores up on the Colts.
Hey, you know what though? Now with this 3-0 start, everybody's talking about the Bears are going to make it to the playoffs because they got spotted 3 ball games. Right. Is it a possibility we're looking at if they get it handed to them tonight, they do a 3-0 start and they still might not make the playoffs? Are we looking for a long because it ain't gonna get prettier. It ain't gonna get prettier as the season goes on against these other ball clubs.
The only way for the Bears to contend, and this is a Lovie Smith item, so this is Lovie math.
Yeah.
You've got to win the quarters. So if the Bears just went 3-1, they only dropped one, so that means they're 75% up. You've got to do 75%, so you've got to go 3-1 the next 3 quarters.
Yeah.
And now to do that, that means if you lose today against Tampa Bay, for the next 4 games, out of these 4 games, you have to win all 3. You have to keep going until you can get comfortable. And this is where the question is. From what we saw from offensive miscues, from defensive lapses, I don't know if the Bears, we might be looking at an 0-3 run after this.
At least they'll be 500. We'll take that.
I'll take that every day, all day on Sunday.
Yeah.
But look here, man, if you're not subscribed to the Sizzle, shame on you.
Yeah,
shame on you and your friends and your family.
Wow.
And next, if you want to, you can always find us at Iron Skillet Radio, Iron Skillet Television. We're everywhere you need to be. Just search Iron Skillet Sports, or you can find us at #Skillet_sports. So listen, before we get ready to go, let me leave you with this quickly. It is your opportunity to make your voice heard and to hear the voices of others. Get out and vote. You can always get out and vote. And if you can't find a link, look on the Sizzles page. We've got a link to find if you need an absentee ballot, if you need to know where to go to vote, you need to find your voter places, your polls, we can help you with that.
Yep.
We're the Sizzles. We're hot. We're always doing the best thing. So look, man, for the both of us, for J. Kevin, for Gregory B, J. Sizzle, G. Sizzle, we getting ready to get out of here, watch this game, and hopefully the Bears prove me wrong. But if they don't, we'll see you on the other side.